I'm Samantha Chian, your host with Spirit of Nevada. This episode is brought to you by the Richard Harris Law Firm, helping families and injured victims throughout Nevada for over 40 years. Hope you enjoy the show.
In the street where we fell apart, searching for the spaces you're hiding out. You were feeling better when I was gone. No need to hurt yourself just to love someone. Can I hold you when the night is dark? Fight. We only love the light in your heart. It's a lie in your heart.
We are at the Great Basin National Park, and the views are just breathtaking. And right next to me here is a bristlecone pine tree. And these organisms here live up to over 5,000 years old. That's pretty old if you ask me. And if you're wondering how to tell if they're still living, you can see their roots on the side of them above ground, which is really cool. Now I'm excited to see what else we can discover along this trail. Can't wait to cross this log. Oh my gosh, pretty. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. It is so beautiful out here.
It really is, isn't it?
Yes, it must be nice to work in a place that is filled with all these trees and there's trails.
You know, it really is. I got to say, you know, I've worked all over the United States for the National Park Service, and this really is one of the nicest parks. And I think it comes as a surprise to people too. You're in Nevada, people are used to the desert, or you know, they've been to Las Vegas or Reno. And I mean, look where you are, you're out in the middle of nowhere, in the beautiful forest with a flowing stream, beautiful cold water. It's really amazing.
No, it is, and it's spectacular. Just even the drive up here is just, it's surreal because these trees just keep getting bigger and the scenery just keeps changing. It's almost like you're somewhere else, you know? It doesn't feel like you're in Nevada.
Yeah, and I mean, the place, I mean, it has these big giant trees like this right here.
They're so tall.
Oh, they're fantastic.
I feel small look at them here.
All. Yeah. And then I mean, you go a little bit higher up and we have these bristlecone pine trees, which are the oldest trees on the planet.
So when we're talking about how high these bristlecone pines are, what is the elevation like up there?
So the park itself goes from 5,000 feet down by the visitor center to 13,000 feet at Wheeler Peak.
Wow.
And the bristlecones are about at a sweet spot about 10,000 foot in elevation. In fact, when you get above the bristlecones, you get to a point where it's treeless up. So it gets too harsh even for the bristlecones. But the bristlecones are kind of at that higher area elevation, and really where they grow where it's hard to grow, and so they grow just these craggly things that grow a little bit every year, and really the ones that are in the most isolated, harsh environments are the ones that grow the oldest, and some of them have been dated close to 5,000 years old.
And you have them here at
the park,
and people can get
5,000-year-old trees in this park.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
5,000 years, and it's spectacular that they can last through these harsh conditions because you have a drastic change in climate throughout the year. Because I see there was snow on the mountains, and then now we're in 75-degree weather. So the fact that they're growing and still here is just beyond me.
Oh, it's incredible. And I mean, really, the time you're here now, and it seems nice and cool, but this is the heat of the summer. So, you know, right now in Las Vegas, they're, you know, baking their brains out, right?
Yes.
So it's nice and cool relatively. But in the winter, yes, we get a very harsh winter. So if you come up here in the wintertime, you need to come up in snowshoes And I mean, I was here a month ago and the snow was, 5-6 feet deep.
Wow.
And this was a very mild winter. So there are winters where it's 20-30 feet deep with snow.
So when people come up here and they need to be prepared on, depending on the season, on what to bring, there's also campsites that people can stay at, correct?
Sure. So we're in the middle of a campground right here.
What's the name of this one that we're at now?
This is called the Wheeler Peak Campground, and it's one of the oldest, kind of the coolest campgrounds. It was built, many years ago. We treat it like a historic site. Beautiful rock walls, so it's really nice. If you come up
How
here,
old is this park? As far as this area?
So the park itself was started with Lehman Caves National Monument, and that is almost 100 years old. In fact, in January it will be 100 years old.
Wow.
And so that was really a small national monument centered around Lehman Caves National Monument. And then in 1986, the U.S. Congress decided that they wanted to preserve a representative sample of the Great Basin. So they expanded Lehman Caves to be Great Basin National Park. So now it's a 77,000 acre national park.
That's huge.
Yeah. So it's a big national park now.
For those that are beginner hikers, what is the hike that you recommend?
I would say come up here, especially if it's the summer and it's nice. So if you come up to the Wheeler Peak area, the scenic area, there is the Bristlecone Pines hike, and that's the hike that will take you up to these really old trees.
And that's how long?
It's about 3 miles round
Okay.
trip. So it's easy to do. You definitely want to bring a backpack and water. And be prepared. And then there's another hike that's actually even a little bit easier, and it's the Alpine Lakes Loop that will take you up to Stella Lake. And then
Wait, Stella Lake?
Yeah, there's
I
a
get
lake.
to see a lake
There's
here?
a lake up here. And so you go up and there's this beautiful lake, and actually, in the reflection you can see Wheeler Peak in the distance. So it's
wow.
fantastic.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
So that's a great place to start. Then if you want to go longer, there are longer hikes that will take you far into the backcountry, and you can go 5 miles, 10 miles, even 20 miles if you want.
Wow. So all ages, all different types of hikers, all can come here and do whatever they need to, because you offer everything.
I think this is a great place for anybody to come hiking, really.
No, it truly is, and it's beautiful. I really like it. I can't wait to go out and explore.
Can I hold you when the night is dark? Can we fight? We only love the light in your heart. It's a lie in your heart. It's a lie in your heart. Can we fight? We only love the light in your
We made it to Teresa Lake, and this is one of 2 lakes that you can hike to here at the Great Basin National Park. The other one is called Stella Lake. Now, when you come in here, keep in mind that this lake freezes in the winter from top to bottom. It's basically one big ice cube, which means there is no fish under any circumstance at any point in time here. But if you come in the summer, the weather is perfect. It's around 75 degrees, and it's definitely worth the hike. So I am on a Bristlecone trail right now, and the drop is very steep. If you look down here, it goes down a long ways. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this is that I want you to be prepared when you come on this hike, because it's not only sketchy when it comes to self-service, but you got to make sure that you have the proper shoes, lots of water, bring a backpack because you'll need snacks along the way. It's a lot of fun, but for those that don't hike on a regular basis, just be prepared when you come out here. I love the remodeled visitor center. I think it looks great. You guys put a lot of work into that, I can tell.
Yeah, we're very proud of it. It was a project funded by the Southern Nevada Public Lands Management Act, and we couldn't have done that without the support of that project. And it is so much fun to explore in there now. There are lots of interactives where you can flip over rocks and discover some of the little critters that live in the cave.
I noticed that.
There's even a tunnel that you can walk through that's a simulated cave experience with your own flashlight, and look for the bats, listen for the water dripping, and a lot of the decorations inside of that tunnel look so much exactly like the real cave. When they were putting it together, I couldn't tell the difference between the actual piece of cave and the models that they had made. It's amazing.
And I agree with you because I've done both. Right, so I got to see the visitor center and I've been inside the caves, and I thought that you guys did such a wonderful job. Now, is there anything that, for those that are coming for the first time, because you've been here for so long, is there anything that they need to know when they come here?
Yeah, definitely. We're remote, so come prepared to come to be self-sufficient. So that goes from like the front country things like cave tours and campsites. They're all available on recreation.gov to make reservations, so you know you have a place to land and you have your cave tour, so everybody will be happy. If you're going to do backpacking or you want to do some more remote camping, we do have places like Snake Creek, which is beautiful. I shouldn't say this, but it's my favorite part of the park.
No, you can say that. You're allowed to. This is the newly remodeled visitor center here at Great Basin National Park, and they've done a wonderful job. There's lots to learn and see here, which reminds me of the last time we were here at the Lehman Caves. Are you ready for a real Nevada road trip?
One of the things that does separate our caves from the rest of the caves in the National Park system is that theirs tend to be very large and big, whereas ours is much more small and intimate, and you get a really close-up observation of a lot of these different cave formations that people tend to really enjoy.
I agree. I mean, the fact that you get to go in and see something like this, that's what, 8 or 10 million years old, right?
Yep, 8 to 5 million years old is what we kind of have the time frame for our cave.
Wow, and then you get to be able to walk through a lot of the caves, actually. It's what, like a mile? People, if they expect to come here, it's like a mile hike, right?
Correct. Going through the cave tour, the Grand Palace, the longest one, that's 90 minutes. That tour route is about 0.7 miles. A lot of these caves, the early explorer that we give credit to is Absalom Lehman. So during that time, one of the things he did is after you'd paid him some money to enter the caves, he would provide you with a lantern to enter and kind of explore. So during that earlier time frame, the only light source you had was a kind of a lantern or a torch if you had one. And then when they were doing construction inside the caves, like laying down the path, opening up passageways, or creating bridges, a lot of that time and a lot of that material had to be brought in one by one. So when we're going through, we're walking on a cement path. A lot of these passageways you would not have been able to fit a wheelbarrow through, so you had to bring them in by 5-gallon buckets at a time going through the cave, especially in the much more tougher and hard to reach locations. So a very, very tedious, long process.
What an experience! Woo! There is so much to see during the day, but half the park is after dark. So we're gonna go meet up with someone who's gonna tell us about their astronomy program here at the Great Basin National Park. So I've had a lot of fun today exploring the park during the day. but I heard that there is lots to see at night here also at the park. Can you tell me a little bit about what others can expect to kind of explore in the evening?
Sure, yeah. So the Great Basin National Park is well known to have some of the best skies in the lower 48, and these skies are fantastic. During the summer, we have a vibrant Milky Way that on the darkest of nights it has the ability to cast a shadow, which is a relatively rare thing. And then stars upon stars upon stars. Later in the season this year, also planets like Saturn and Jupiter will start to pop up, where people will be able to see that during our programs here at this amphitheater.
So you have programs here at the amphitheater for people to come and view the stars. Is that done on a particular day or days of the week?
Yeah, so this year we're doing these programs on Thursdays and Saturdays every single week. The time changes depending upon, well, when the sun sets. So people should be checking our website. It changes by 30 minutes depending upon the time of the year. But we get anywhere from 50 people to 200 people down here at these programs, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a huge crowd to have in this area. Did you guys anticipate that it was going to be this huge event as you started to put this together?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we've been doing programs, astronomy programs here at Great Basin National Park for almost 11, 12 years now.
Wow.
So they've been going for quite a while now. We used to do them up in the parking lot up near the visitor center up there. And we've gotten big crowds. I think our largest crowd on record is like 280 something.
That's a lot of people. Is that why you guys decided to build this amphitheater?
Yeah, so this amphitheater was built for a lot of reasons, but one of the big reasons is that we have started to become this huge destination for astronomy tourism. So
because of the dark skies.
Yeah, why not go all in? Yeah.
So when you have these people that sign up and want to come out here for those, one of those 2 nights, do you have, telescopes provided for them so they can look through it?
Yeah, we actually don't, we actually ask people not to bring their own telescopes.
Oh, good to know.
Because we bring our own telescopes. We have 3 telescopes set up. These telescopes have the ability to look at nebulas, planets, and galaxies. And so that's part of the program, is that time looking through this telescope. So we actually ask people not to bring their own and to use ours, so that they can get the best experience.
And for those that don't stargaze on a normal basis, but they want to learn more about them, is there somebody here that kind of or will you be here, or are there people like you that can help out?
Sure, yeah, it's either me or some of the other astronomy rangers. We seasonally hire a handful of astronomy rangers particularly that have that skill set of being able to explain stars and astronomy to people. So it's either me or it's some of our great volunteers who have been volunteering for the last 9 years here. They give a whole bunch of time to us. That says something
about you guys if you have volunteers for that long.
They're pretty impressive people. But yeah, there's always someone here to help out, actually a good group of people.
So is there a cost to do that?
No cost.
Wow,
no cost whatsoever.
amazing.
It's a free program. It's what we believe to be part of the park, and we want the public to be able to experience it. So yeah, no cost, just show up.
I didn't even find out about it until last night, and so I'm really excited that I know that I can come here and stargaze on one of those 2 nights and be able to not only learn about the stars, but then meet others. And it's kind of this like group kind of get together where everyone just kind of gets to hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, it is. It's a great place where people can learn a little bit more. But I'll also open it up to the point of this is just one of the many places within this whole park that people can stargaze. Basically anywhere in this park someone can pull off the road, as long as they find a place to pull off the road and they do it safely. You can get a good view anywhere you want. So if that big crowd of people isn't your jam, you can also go find your own private experience. So we have a little bit for everybody, which is
really
nice.
love that.
Yeah.
I like that. Every experience we have creates a memory. Now, some memories can last a lifetime, depending on how we feel, the environment, and the people around us. Being here at Great Basin National Park is definitely a memory that I'll never forget. From meeting the people and hearing their stories about what states they came from and why they decided to come here was definitely something super spectacular. And it's people that I'd want to hang out with all day long. Now, the park is not only for those wanderers who enjoy the daytime, but it's also for those night owls who want to experience the park after dark and enjoy the beautiful stars. I'm Samantha Chion, but you can call me Sam with Spirit of Nevada, brought to you by the Richard Harris Law Firm. Sam Cam view now. I got Purdy behind me carrying the camera. He is very determined to get the best shots here at the park, and I will have to say, pretty darn cool. Okay, so a few more yards till we get to see the bristlecones. So I'm really excited because I heard the trees are just spectacular and they're really old. And it'd be nice to have visitors when you're that old that still want to come and take pictures with you. Is that a lame joke or what? I think between the two of us, we crushed it.
I crushed my legs.